Hey everybody, how's it going? Thanks for joining. So we're just gonna hang out for a second, let some more people trickle in, and then we'll get started. Thanks everybody for joining. I hope you're all having a great, I don't even know what day it is anymore, Wednesday. They all blend. So I have my black coffee, just straight, kind of the jump start to the day. All right. Susnata, thank you for joining so much. I am doing fantastic. Eric Meyer with a question. Can I have multiple services inside the same repo? Yes, you can. And this is great. Let's keep throwing in these questions. Anything about App Platform? App Platform is like what I'm super excited about. The Deploy conference is, I'll be speaking at it about App Platform, pretty much all App Platform for me. So yes, multiple services inside the same repo is possible. But yeah, as many different as many different components as you want, like the backend service, workers, which is essentially a service but not publicly accessible, and then you got your databases, which is super cool, and then your front end static sites. So today's agenda, I just want to talk about three app platform tips, sort of my favorite things about app platform, and then we'll talk about a little bit about deploy, and then we'll go from there. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. But okay, so let's get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Chris on Code. I am a developer advocate at DigitalOcean. I'm on the DevRel team, developer relations, and I started a website called Scotch.io, which is a web dev tutorial site, and we were acquired by DigitalOcean back in November of last year. So for me, this is a really exciting time because that whole like joining DigitalOcean, my big thing was app platform. And here we are 1 year later, and it's finally launched as of yesterday. Super exciting stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about app platform today, and then definitely talk about having the deploy conference come up. So let's talk about, I'm going to share my screen here, and then, yeah, so let's talk about deploy. Deploy is our virtual global conference. It's going to be 24 hours long, which is a daunting task, but I think it'll be amazing. I've got a couple talks in there on app platform. So you probably came here to talk more about our PaaS app platform that's out. So here, I want to talk a little bit about app platform, like my three favorite things, some tips, and then you'll get a lot more info about it at the Deploy conference, which you can get at do.co/deploy if you visit that URL. So here are my two apps. I have a Laravel app, a Gatsby app. And again, how amazing is it that on DigitalOcean, we can say, hey, I want to go to deploy an app, and let's just go from a GitHub repo, and we can just call out the Laravel app, right? So my favorite things about that platform is, I mean, auto deploy code changes is amazing, right? And then being able to do that and say any changes to your GitHub repo and get it pushed directly to DigitalOcean, fantastic. So let's go next. So we have a web service, and we'll talk a bit about this. We have a web service, which is a backend, sort of backend code, and this is Laravel in this case. Backend code that's publicly accessible for your users. So here, let's do environment variables, and amazing that we can add environment variables right here. We have magic environment variables for app URL, if not role, app URL. So there's that. Give me 2 seconds here. So that's app URL, and then I'll add a new one for app key, which is, I'm just pasting in here. I just copied one locally. You would generate that yourself, right? So build command, this is a Laravel app, so we need a composer install. And then if we had a database, we could do a PHP artisan migrate right here under our run, or we could kind of SSH in ourselves. And I'll show you how to do that. So hello? Did my mic cut out? Okay, I'm gonna assume we're good. Sorry, give me 2 seconds, everybody. Okay, so I'm good. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so check this out. If we wanted to add a database, if you wanted to do this with droplets, right, you'd have to, first to deploy to GitHub to a droplet, you had to do all the SSH key stuff. And then to add a database, you had to like provision it yourself or create a managed database as a service. Here, you can just click add a database and call it dev database, call it MyDB, whatever you want to call it, and click add database. So now if I zoom out enough, we have a PHP app, we have a Postgres app right here, and then we could actually even use those Postgres environment variables. This is something that you have to kind of read the docs to get through, but we can say DB connection, and let me zoom in here, is equal to PGSQL if we wanted a Postgres database, which is what our dev database is. And then you could do all the things like DB password, and you could use the magic variables that we have, db.password. So amazing that you can link these components all from a few clicks, right? So here, let's just deploy this and see what happens. Then we can select our choices for pricing. And feel free to add questions in the comments here. I'll definitely take a look at them as soon as we're done with this. So we'll launch our basic app and we'll let that run. And while that's running, I'm just gonna go over here to my pre-built ones. Well, let's go here. And so we have our Hello Laravel app that we deployed. We have our health checks. We have the ability to add new components. So we have a backend Laravel app. I usually use Laravel for my APIs. Super big fan of Laravel. You can create a component, add another web service, which there was a question about that from, I believe, Eric earlier, where you can just deploy another web service. And you might be wondering, okay, well, if we have two web services, how do they work in the same sort of scenario, right? If we go back to components, we have our HTTP routes. So basically all of them live at this root domain. And then you can say, okay, well, I want you to live at app. I want you to live at backend. I want you to live at front end, which doesn't make sense, but so you can just configure them however you want. And then if you wanted to go into your console, you click console and run some PHP artisan commands or whatever commands you have for your backend. So all in all, I'm really excited about App Platform. For the Deploy conference, I will personally be speaking on Jamstack and how we can take a React front end that's a static site and quickly add a backend API, backend database, and build a full stack app, all from deploying from GitHub repos. So I'm super excited about that. This was just kind of like, we wanted to talk a little bit about App Platform. It just got released yesterday, so I'm taking every opportunity I have to just talk about it. Definitely throw questions in the chat right now. We'll move over to Q&A. if you definitely want to know more about deploy and see these awesome app platform talks, do.co/deploy. So let's answer some questions if you have any. Eric, thanks everybody for letting me know my mic is working. So app URL is from app platform gives us some environment variables. So if we go to app platform form docs for DigitalOcean, under how-tos, under environment variables, these are all the environment variables that are added to our app whenever we deploy. So we have app_domain. Let me zoom in. We have app_URL. We have component-specific variables for services, static sites, workers, and here's the database ones that I was using. So all of those are available to you to use as environment variables. Let's go back here. Question, do you somehow support PR deployments for staging environments? Not currently. So you're saying if you deployed to like a different branch, it would auto deploy that branch? Not currently. Can you also route subdomains / other domains, etc.? Not currently, Stephen. Right now, everything is kind of just path-based routing. Subdomains and other domains, I'm not entirely sure where they stand on our roadmap, but yeah, path-based routing right now. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you're excited about app platform. I really am. I think there's a big kind of gap when you want to take a front-end static site and then make it a full stack app. You used to have to like go grab like a database from somewhere random, create an API from somewhere else. But now you can have all of that in like one platform. Hey, Cameron. Love Salt Lake City. I haven't been up there in a second. But I'm down in Las Vegas, Nevada, so not too far of a jump. Any other questions out there about app platform, about deploy? Let me know. But again, thank you everybody for joining. We're probably going to sign off here in a minute or two. So throw those questions in there and grab another sip of coffee. All right, no more questions. It looks like we're all good here. Again, thank you everybody for joining. My name is Chris on Code. And if you want, let me know what you deployed to app platform. I'm really excited to do a lot more content and tutorials on it. And again, thanks for watching. See ya.